So we should be hopefully live on YouTube, on Twitch soon. I'm hoping we're live. Also good timing. We're actually all good. We actually are live and good to go as well. So with my hiccups actually start happening. Anyway, yes, today we're actually covering some more JoJo Part 6. Don't know, I should have consumed so much JoJo in like one day. It's beyond belief. My brain is starting to actually cease all motor functions when it comes to like anything else. I'm like, wow, it's Thursday. I did not even realize. I looked at my clock this morning. I was like, wait a minute, it's Thursday today. What the fuck? I didn't even know what day of the week I was on. I thought it was still on Wednesday. But no, we're on Thursday today, which is quite interesting. Anyway, yes, enough talk. We actually are today covering episode 8 of JoJo Part 6 Stone Ocean. As episode 7 actually was once again really good, leaning much more heavily into like the horror aesthetic of JoJo prior to this part as well. We saw it quite a bit part 5, part 4 as well, part 3 as well had it, and also part 1 and 2. But I kind of feel like part 5 is kind of the definitive version of the whole entire idea, and I feel like part 6 actually is kind of exemplifying it as well. And also we might have actually seen quite an interesting stand this time round, so I can't wait to actually see what actually transpires in that regard. Anyway, on to we go to actually say I've gone live if my eye starts to stop. I was like, my eyes are constantly blinking, so I was looking at my eye. Right, so watching episode 8. So I think what I might do from now on is do 2 episodes per day, I believe. So hopefully, I think by Saturday we should, in theory, have part 6 caught up to the latest episode being episode 12, I think, if my math is correct. So yeah, because we've done 4, we're up to 8, so then 12. Yeah, makes sense. But I was like, wait a minute, is my math right? Am I doing this correct? But anyways, I start this thing in 3, 2, 1. It starts this thing absolutely now. We're actually back to the sussy interactions. I do actually kind of like this stand because it's one of those ones that you cannot tell who the actual stand user actually is. It's always like this. It's always definitively like one is introduced or the other one's introduced originally. So then you actually kind of got a grasp of who it could in theory be. But with this one, it's like who could it be? Who is it? I don't know. It could be anyone. That was a pretty sussy reply, to be honest. That was grounds being like, I don't know about that one. Man, they actually managed to turn everyone on each other in the space of 5 minutes. So, wow, this is going terribly. Yo, this is literally like Among Us. Oh. Oh shit. Oh shit. So anyway, she's got a point. Exactly how Johto would have done it as well, to be honest. I respect that. It's a very Johto way of doing things. You could tell she's the daughter of Jotaro. Honestly, the whole entire scene just then was like case in point. I'm telling you, it's literally Among Us. Or The Thing, actually, as well, to be honest. Actually, yeah, it's basically The Thing, the more I think about it. So wait a minute, everyone is sus. when the entirety of JoJo is sus. Someone's made the joke already before me, though. I hope so, at least. It pretty much is the thing, actually, to be honest. Kind of, at least, because in the thing, they mimic the features of the person. Actually, then they kind of turn into the parasite once they're actually revealed. That's kind of fucked, bro. Honestly, that is so fucked. Oh my god, I can't believe that's actually a thing. So yeah, by the way, I just used the missing flesh of the inmates, constructed this. I would have just been like, I'm out. That's vile, bro. Fuck that. Nah, no, no. But yeah, it's pretty much a thing, actually, to be honest. I'm trying to figure out which it probably would have been. I think it's the thing, but there might have been one later that I'm misremembering as well. That's quite a famous flesh-eating and also subsequently host taking over movie as well. I'm trying to remember. There's a lot of them. It's the problem. Because also there's like Leviathan as well, but it's not. It's kind of more of a flesh-eating one. It's not really take over the body and take over the mind kind of thing. The problem is the 80s and 90s and 2000s were rife with films like that because it's horror, isn't it, and sci-fi together. It works really well, so it's kind of really hard to figure out which one was like around at that point that this actual manga was being made that actually was really famous. But yeah, good episode last week, a minute ago as well, to be honest. It's kind of vile though. Pale snake. So I guess, theoretically speaking, this is actually like an autonomous stand. The idea that it's actually just yeah, they are the stand user, theoretically speaking. It's kind of an interesting way because there's autonomous stands originally as well. Don't get me wrong, there's loads of them. Kind of from this perspective as well, it's actually quite an interesting like deviation from the typical like stand user. Yeah, how do you defeat something like that though? That's the thing. How do you defeat something like that? Foo Fighters. I guess you could, in theory, say they'll be here ever long. They are pretending. They are the pretender. If they go down a road to the Sonic Highway, I love how Joni and Richie was like, okay, so I've got to beat up everyone here to find out who it actually truly is, and then this time she's like, I'll let the stand actually first explain their whole entire philosophy, then I'll do something. Gotta be honest, he's pretty damn fast as well. This is like the world's like most massive lose-lose scenario. So, well, if we move and go and chase after him, we're fucking dead. If we actually allow them to actually take him away, we're fucking dead. She's crazy, but she's a Joe star, so it makes sense. Let's be real, no Joe star makes rational decisions. Every single Joe star makes decisions you're like, okay, I can see that panning out correctly, but it might end terribly at the same time. The old pawn windowsill trick. The shit Erdmes would do. The shit Erdmes would do. It only needs water to survive, doesn't it? So if it actually has water on it, it should survive, shouldn't it? It's kind of clever. Oh wow, that's what I'm saying. Erdmes, like, underrated best girl of the whole entire series. Probably should be really careful breathing that in as well, to be honest. I feel like every single character in this like part is just like everyone from previous parts just mixed into like a bunch of characters, because it all literally have like, they all exude one quality about previous characters, which actually is kind of great. Like the whole thing with Jolene literally being the daughter of Jotaro, kind of like, you know, the pose is the pose. Jolene literally being the daughter of Jotaro and actually literally just beating the shit out of people before actually thinking about anything else. I kind of like that. I kind of like how Jotaro, before he actually kind of before he fell over and passed out, basically said, "Yeah, you're a Joestar." It's like, quite literally. But it's also going to be one way of getting out of that, this whole thing. Jones going to be like, fool, don't you think I already thought of this? There's also that film series called Species or something as well that was also like that. But Species is mostly just porn. So it's kind of like it was really kind of like a good film series. And so there's also one about, that was also another one about hosts and aliens as well, and organisms. Oh, and body snatchers as well. Invasion of Body Snatchers was another one. She's so fucking cool. I swear to God. It's so cool the way the dispatchable understand uses in this part so far. It's like, I can't believe they thought of that, but I'm actually so impressed. I'm actually so glad they actually thought of that. It's like they're literally on like, they're like seven light years ahead of every other single person in this whole entire like part. There's the only way they could actually conjure that thought so quickly. I'm like, yeah, by the way, we already thought of that before the thought was even present. King Crimson shit. It's kind of very interesting. You think about it, the idea of actually not protecting White Snake, but actually going after it for its own sake of its own existence. He took out a DILF. He's very evil. Oh, he do be scheming. He do be scheming. I really do like Jolene's actual way of doing things as well, though. It's very like, again, it's just very different. It doesn't really feel like, she kind of, again, she reminds me a lot of, in a way, I guess it reminds me a lot of other characters as well, but she kind of reminds me, she has that kind of Joestar nature about her, like the whole, like, the way Josuke does a lot of things as well. Also the way Giorno does stuff as well. It's just stuff like that is exuded a lot through Jolene's characters, why I like that the Joestar lineage just carries on through the lens of different characters, their whole entire ideology, their feelings, and the way they do things carries on through generations. And they also put their own spin on everything as well. Panda Punks is actually discs in this part. Best girl's here. Best girl's here. She's finally here. My wife's finally here. I've waited so long to see her again. I love her so much. She's best girl. She's so fucking cool. I love her so much. I'm so happy. I'm so happy my girl's finally here. Honestly, I was this whole entire time I was like, I just watch that one person in the scene. She's really important to the plot, and boom, there she is. He wants to know. He wants to learn all about the Jojo'S. He wants all that Jojo knowledge. He wants it all for himself. And then the police arrive. The jump cut was beautiful. Ooh. My god, I didn't think we actually get White Snake this time around either. Oh, he sounds so fucking good. Holy fucking shit. Oh, oh my god, he sounds so fucking good. Oh my god, my swag man's finally here. I waited so fucking long. Oh my god, so beautiful. I've waited so long to see my swag boy here. Absolute swaggiest man in JoJo. You don't even know. Oh god, I'm so happy that people actually can finally see the man himself. I didn't think we'd get him that early either. I thought he would appear way later into the series. I was misremembering, I thought Poochie appears like midway through, like normal villains, like Diablo and everyone like that. But no, Poochie appears 8 episodes into the whole entire plot. I was like, fucking hell. Jesus, I was not expecting that. It's not because the show's rushing or anything, it's because literally he appears that fast into the actual narrative. But it's actually quite cool because it doesn't really feel like, say, a normal antagonist, a normal kind of like person reveal in a way. I always thought that I always thought it was really well done how they do that, because it kind of then adds more tension because you know that he's there essentially. Though still, Whitesnake is kind of like the crucial part of this whole entire thing. Whitesnake's the one you see mostly of. So that actually then raised the tension, so then it's more or less the same thing that I said beforehand with Muzan. The idea that Muzan's kind of omnipresent with the narrative actually kind of not being there. Same thing kind of applies here in a way, but it's actually a bit better done here, I think. The idea of actually how they handle Whitesnake's like presence, because it's always very threatening. It's not like, oh yeah, by the way, he's just there for the sake of being there, essentially. He's not there to be like, ooh, oh shit. He's not there to be like, ooh, I'm a bad guy, I'm a bad stan, ooh, kind of thing. No, he's actually there because he's meant to kind of raise the threat level to the whole entire plot, because he's meant to be like, oh fuck, oh shit. But now we have the reveal of the possible guy of the whole entire part, so that's also very cool. I mean, I'm glad actually everyone finally will see the Swagman himself, because again, I love Poochie to bits. He's my favorite character in all of JoJo. He's so fucking cool. And also you saw finally Best Girl of JoJo Part 6 as well. Though granted, still there's still tests to the whole idea of Best Girl, but still. So we've actually almost everyone at this point. There's still two mysterious characters, well, not so mysterious considering they're in the opening. They've had PVs as well, so they're not so mysterious, but they're still mysterious to the actual overall plot just yet. So we still have two more characters to go, which I believe will probably be the end of the whole entire series. I think we might get one of them this time round. I believe maybe the next one the next time round, or I think maybe both at the same time. I can't remember. So yeah, I mean, as an episode, I actually quite like it. I like FF's like entire existence in the way, because it's not typical of, say, like other parts. It's more or less like we have a stan user essentially, which actually is kind of cool. It's not to the same degree as, say, other parts where there has to be a stan user. And then say there's no stan user, the stan can actually still work off without them being there. The same thing applied with Notorious B.I.G. from Part 5 when Notorious B.I.G. died, which actually then ignited the stand itself to actually then kind of attack, if I remember correctly. So that was slightly different, those same kind of principles, the idea that they actually work completely autonomously. So theoretically speaking, I guess once B.I.G. dies, they become the stan user, but in this one it's more concrete idea stan user, the same being as the stan user, the same being as the stan as well. And also it happens a inmate, which actually is quite cool, because once again is one of those things that isn't very typical. And also I like how they've sided with the actual protagonist as well. They haven't sided with anyone else, so it kind of proves to us this whole entire fight wasn't so much an antagonistic fight, it's more or less just a lot more going on than just that. And I kind of like that, because again, it's one of those things that they won't fight for Poochie or anyone like that, or Whitesnake. They'll fight for something completely different, and that in of itself is kind of cool. Because again, it kind of bucks a lot of trends you see in JoJo quite a bit. And now that this kind of in a way, I believe the first 4 episodes of Part 6 really do solidify how different Part 6 is as a part in comparison to, say, Part 5 or 4, and also Part 3 as well. It's kind of just very different. It's very different in structure and tone, and also subsequently then reveals as well. The reveals, they're very different feeling, because Diavolo's reveal in Part 5 was like this grandiose moment. It was like, holy fucking shit, that's Diavolo. That's the boss. Holy fuck. And then the whole thing with Kira as well in Part 4, and also Dio in Part 3. Dio's slightly different as well, I still think. But you know what I mean. It's just it's the grandiose reveals. But I kind of feel like Part 6 does it such a way it feels more organic to the overall kind of plot. It's not really like your brains wanted to get to that one point. It's not like I have to see that one character be revealed. I have to see him right now this very one instant. Otherwise I'm gonna fucking flip. No, it's not that at all. It's very different in the feel it kind of does, and it works. Everything this part does, it does really brilliantly, and for that reason, everything just kind of lands. The same thing applies with emotional beats, because again, I think the first emotional beat in Part... I think the first emotional beat, granted, Part 4 had Josuke's granddad dying, so that was also first emotional beat, but I kind of feel like the first emotional beat in most parts tend to happen a little bit into the actual plot, rather than, say, immediately, but this part had it immediately. And the same thing happens with the idea of the actual enemy stand user being revealed almost immediately as well. The idea of Whitesnake kind of being the omnipresent antagonist of the whole entire part as well. Subsequently, also the idea of reveal of Poochie as well. Granted, still Poochie's actual involvement at this very one point is still very kind of limited. He's not like revealed, but he's there. He's there. He's kind of cool. He's just vibing. So stuff like that, it goes a long way. It goes a long way to actually kind of just make this part very different and actually very, very cool because of it. It's one of those ones that I once again reiterate is a definitive way to look at JoJo as a whole. I kind of like that because it does in theory evolve Araki's actual writing prowess as well. It's kind of given us a different feeling part overall. So yes, now I can't wait because we're getting to the meat and potatoes. We're getting to even more good shit. We already hit the good shit. We already were the good shit from episode 1 onwards, but even more good shit now. So with all that has indeed been the driver. So as always, if you have enjoyed this entire stream as always, then do as always, leave a like. It does help quite a bit. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole, and as always, do leave a sub as well, because it does help quite a bit also. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on YouTube, and as always, then do leave a follow on Twitter as well. It does help quite a bit. You'll then know when streams are live and any other streams I do as well. Thanks so much for actually being here as well. See you tomorrow with episodes, hopefully 9 and 10. So until then, see you guys later. Bye for now.